The Try-Hard. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Harry's wife is a try-hard. Of that there is no doubt. This is because so many things do not come naturally to her. They do not come naturally to her because she has no emotional empathy. They do not come naturally to her because her life is one of mimicry. She has to observe and subconsciously then mimic the behaviors of others in order to fit in order to then control those individuals, draw fuel from them. She has done this for the majority of her life, but doesn't realize that she's doing it because she's unaware of what she actually is. She is a try-hard because it doesn't come naturally to her to be stylish. She's a try-hard because it doesn't come naturally to her to be a fashion icon. She's a try-hard because it doesn't come naturally to her to be warm, inclusive, welcoming. Her narcissism has to try and affect all of those things. Some narcissists are absolutely brilliant at passing themselves off as kind, caring, interested in people, that their magnetism shines forth to draw individuals in. This is most commonly seen with the greater narcissists, whereby, with a cold, calculating mind, they're thinking ahead as to how they're going to get to the prime aims, but in the way of doing so, they dupe so many people into believing that they simply are interested in them in a genuine way, that they're warm, engaging, kind, and thus people are readily taken in that regard. Other narcissists are less accomplished at it. Harry's wife has two problems. Not only is she somewhat wooden when it comes to behaving this way, perhaps symptomatic of why she's not that good an actress, but also, because of the prominence that she has achieved, her try-hard status is bared for all to see. There are many, many people watching what she does, commenting upon it, observing, dissecting, and therefore each and every time she does something, not only is it scrutinized and taken apart, but she also exposed where she engages in false behavior, where she has told lies, where she has revised history, where she has made things up. People are able to cross-reference what has gone on before and say, hang on a minute, that doesn't sit with what she said previously. Less well-known narcissists can get away with that because there is perhaps only one or two people that's keeping tabs on the lies, usually an intimate partner, perhaps a friend or a family member. But everyone else isn't that interested or invested or particularly affected by the narcissist to engage in such detailed fact-checking. Such is the level of dislike that Harry's wife has generated, there are plenty of people who are all too ready to be able to cross-reference what she's done in the past and check it as against what she's now doing and point out that just doesn't stack up. She said something different in the past. She made alternative references, and thus she gets caught out again and again and again, which not only underpins the lack of genuine behaviour on her part, but it also demonstrates what a try-hard she is. And her try-hard status has gone into overdrive just recently. Only today, if one was to take a perusal on Mr. Google with relation to news about Harry's wife, you'll be met with a blitzkrieg of activity to try and persuade you that she is both stylish and wonderful. The usual suspects are out in force: Marie Claire, Cosmopolitan, Town and Country, People.com, and of course, Hello, all appearing with glowing articles about her and her fashion, praising what she's wearing, calling it stylish, talking about how the relevant website that hosted a particular outfit was caused to go down, such was the level of demand. They also talk about the engagement ring, why she's not wearing it, providing explanations galore. But there is very clearly a concerted blitzkrieg approach to asserting control over the readership by ensuring that all of these various outlets tell us what she was wearing, how good she looked in wearing it, where you can get it from, that she was impeccably dressed, that the crowd loved her. Now, I know from alternative sources that she's actually had something of an ambivalent welcome from people, particularly the Germans, or as I more accurately might say, the Germans. And she has been met with polite applause, as you would expect. The fact is that most people would feel awkward about booing her or turning their backs on her. They don't want to detract from the Invictus Games themselves. This, of course, is unfortunate because Harry's wife then believes that she's popular when actually she's not. For the most part, people are being polite. Yes, there will be some people there who are genuinely pleased to see her. And yes, there will be some people there that give her the rapturous applause that has been written about. But for the most part, people are there to see the games and are not interested in her. Sure, they'll look and say, oh look, the Duchess of Delusion is over there. But they're not particularly moved to be supportive of her. But the fact that people are applauding politely is interpreted by Harry's wife as, they love me. Remember her reaction when she turned up at that final royal appointment, dressed in red, when she ought not to have been at a military veterans event, and she entered, I think it was the Royal Albert Hall or somewhere, and the crowd was actually applauding for the veterans, and you could see that she thought the applause was for her. Cringeworthy behaviour, of course, but entirely expected of a narcissist. And now, as she disgustingly uses the platform of the Invictus Games to further her own aims, of the prime aims, we see that alongside this, you are being subjected to this blitzkrieg attack by the usual supine publications to ensure that you know how beautiful, how glamorous, how stylish, how absolutely wonderful Harry's wife is. It's so transparent. If you have a moment, if you could be bothered, punch her name in and then click on news, and then you will see the raft of names that come up espousing what she's been wearing, telling us how stylish she looks. It is so transparently try hard, but it is to be expected of Harry's wife. She cannot comprehend that people don't like her. She cannot comprehend that she is heavily disliked. Her narcissism simply says, does not compute. I know many of you would think it's obvious why she's so disliked because of the way that she's behaved, and you're correct about that. But what you must not lose sight of is the fact that Harry's wife doesn't see the world in that way. She sees it through a lens of, I'm brilliant, everybody loves me, and if you think to the contrary, there's something wrong with you. And thus, as part of that mindset, we are subjected to this blitzkrieg of information telling us about how wonderful she is. And it's gone into particular overdrive at the moment as she seeks to leverage off the back of the Invictus Games. But all she simply does is cement her status as a try-hard. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.